England was now in shambles after the long and costly war with Mrs. Sparkleland. The law became crueler and justice became stupider, as innocent were sent to their deaths and guilty convicts roamed the streets without a care, except for the fact of being in prison. Pimp is as miserable as ever, after discovering the horrible news about his father, and a new rash on his butt, which forced him to keep standing. This only made him think of the loss of Rory Calhoun, and made him more sad. Our story continues when Pimp is 18.
Stage 3, Chapter 6. Father, what has happened? Asked I, as I observed my father, barely breathing and fatter than ever. He was dying, and there was nothing anyone could do about it, according to Dr. Al, who slapped my ass, took his nurses Eliza and Beliza, and left my house. Father, do you know you're going to die? I asked, with tears in my eyes. Giddy laughed for no particular reason. Yes, I want some booze, he gurgled. At that moment, One-Eyed Jack came in with 10 large kegs. Here comes the first keg, second keg, third keg, fourth keg, fifth keg, sixth keg, seventh keg, eighth keg, ninth keg, 10th keg. So your biscuit! And many, many people. Some of them were Sid, George, Mr. Pumblechuck, the Magistrate Williams, and many more people I had never seen in my life. Even the father cook was there, getting drunk off his ass. Hey! The party, I suppose, was thrown in my father's honor.
Oh, Pimp, you're so fun! You're so fun, you've been my hammock! Hammock! Oh no, my head's gonna blow, oh my gosh!
At the party, things started getting out of hand, and people started climbing my father's belly, which was now full of booze, and claiming that they were king of the mountain. One of the children was the son of George, named Charles, and he had a brother, Curly. They got lost somewhere in the fat of my father's stomach. George was upset, left the party, and committed suicide. Hello? Time to die! Hello? Didn't work! Like a charm. Oh, I forgot to say, start again. Start again! This made me think of the father's compassion towards his children. I compared it to my relationship with my father. I remember my father had wanted to sell me to Mr. Wackoff, and that is why I had run away and joined the war. This created a sort of resentment from me to him. The next day, after the party ended, I discovered my father had died. Ah, what a world. It's nice stuff. After ordering a very large coffin for him, the funeral took place at the gloomy cemetery by the marsh where I had met that convict so long ago. Father Cook gave the eulogy. I noticed Mr. Wackoff there. I also noticed my father there. He was alive! Oh no, wait, it was a tree. I think I'm going mad seeing my father everywhere. Well, just at once, but still. After the mourners had departed, a man approached me. He looked very familiar, but I could not place my butt on it. Pimp, my deepest regrets, spoke the man. He was skinny and thin, and by thin I mean fat. Have we met, sir? Asked I. Of course, I'm Mr. Fatbutt, from Miss Blavishams, don't you remember? I then realized it was not him at all. It was an imposter coming to kill me. I jumped on him with rage and started strangling him. However, he overpowered me, and we continued to fight for quite some time. In the end, it turned out to be Mr. Fatbutt, and as it turned out, he had some news for my future. You are to come to Miss Blavishem's at once. Mr. Pumblechook insisted, and being one of your father's best friends, I take it that his word is your order. You will come live with Miss Blavisham and her servants, he spoke. Would the Lady Frestella be there, sir? I asked hopefully. He must have noticed the boner in my pants when I asked that, because he looked at me queerly and said, No, she's studying law at Kent. I presume that she will visit now and then, but don't get your hopes up. We took a horse and carriage up to a mansion at the top of the hill. It was a boring ride listening to him talk about his cousin in Ireland, who was a farmer there, that used plenty of manure, but not for planting crops, for carpeting. I vomited in his lap at the sound of that. He disregarded it and continued talking about the varieties of manure. As we arrived at the gates, I received a cold welcome from Miss Blavisham. Mr. Fatbud left, and I was alone with her. All alone. Just me and her. Her servants, company, and me. The company was 2 men and a big squash. The squash introduced himself as Kangaroo Man. What a coincidence! I'd known a giant squash as a very young lad. Except his name was Mr. Squash. Kangaroo Man left, and the 2 men remained. One introduced himself as Mr. Waggers, Miss Blavisham's lawyer, and the other as his yes-man, Mr. Blemish, who had a very nice complexion on his face, arms, and butt. I lived like that for 2 months when finally Frestella came. She still treated me like a commoner, but was much more glorious about it. I realized that I loved her, and had to tell her. Chapter 7. During the next year, Frestella visited 2 more times, and I never had the balls to tell her. You might say I lacked the balls, or you might even say I was ballless, or you might have to say that I'm not even a man, or we won't say that, we'll just forget that I even exist. It was after about 1 year that Miss Blavisham approached me and said, You have stuck up this house for far long enough! You must find another guardian! And since I was only 20, I was at the legal adult age in England, which was, and still is, 36. So Miss Blavisham invited her lawyer, Mr. Waggers, to come inform me of my new guardian. Pimp, you will move to Worcestershire, where you will live with your needs covered by your benefactor, who is not to be revealed until you've learned the ultimate lesson. As an uneducated swine, I found this to be extremely stupid. However, I also found it intriguing because I truly had no business left here anyway. The following day, I said my goodbye to Miss Blavisham. Goodbye, Miss Blavisham. Thank you for everything. Please send my wishes to Frestella. Come closer, Pimp, she said, eyeing me closely. So I came close to her where she was sitting on a pizza. May I ask you something, swine? She asked softly. Anything, I answered. When was the last time you washed yourself? You stink! I suddenly spit into my hands and started rubbing it all over my body, which was already naked. That's better! All the best wishes in Worcestershire. I then was off to Worcestershire to get educated, and then make something of my swiney life, and perhaps to make something of my swiney life.